Welcome. Thank you for attending the 2023 football banquet. It gives us the opportunity to celebrate these young men that carry on the traditions of our program in Dalton High School. This was certainly a season to remember, and we couldn't be more proud of the way this group of young men performed. You know, as we left spring practice, we really didn't know what kind of team we were going to have, but throughout the summer, and then when we went to UTC and beat Cleveland by 30 in the finals, we thought we could be pretty special. And this group didn't disappoint. Under the leadership of this group of seniors, they left everything they had on the field every Friday night. Many of them playing 150-plus plays, which is about 3 ball games, but never wavered in their effort. They led every game. And at one point in 2 games, they were leading the 2 teams that are playing in a state championship next week by 2 touchdowns before they ran out of gas. There's no doubt this group of seniors left this program much better than they found it. As sophomores, they were 2-8. Last year, they were 6-6. Went to the Sweet 16 in the playoffs. And this year, they finished 8-4, tied for second in the toughest region in 5A, and carried on the tradition of the Sweet 16. While we appreciate the effort of our team, anyone who's been around a successful program knows that it takes more than teams and coaches to reach our goal. And with that, we want to thank the parents, the quarterback club, the administration for everything you do to help make this team successful. We really appreciate it. Now, I'm going to welcome Andy Johnson up here on behalf of the quarterback club. But he's actually got a lot of hardware. This Thank you. Thank you. Oh, you forgot this.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. 2 years, when we started this thing, 2 years sounded like a really long time. It's not. Time has flown. It's been an honor to do the quarterback club, to be a part of the quarterback club, and to be the president of the quarterback club. It has truly been an honor. But before we go any further, I need to thank Bill Blackwood, Mark Wooten, and Mitch Souther. Those guys have been the backbone of this whole thing. Their wives, my wife, it's a team effort. It's a team effort to give you guys everything that you want, everything that you need. You earned every bit of it. So, Bill, Mark, Mitch, thank you guys. The coaching staff. 2 years has gone by so quick, and so much has happened in 2 years. So much, 3 years actually. That's what you guys get. You get their hard work to make your job doable on a Friday night. I can't be more proud of our coaches. I can't be more proud of our team, of just everybody involved in this. The new athletic directors. Let's talk about those guys for a minute. They are there every Friday afternoon at noon, even earlier than noon, getting this stuff set up for you guys. They were new. They learned this thing, and they jumped right in and did it. Forget that. Guys, I can't thank y'all enough. Thank you, Ryan. Brandon Brown Productions, thank you so much. The hard work that you do is amazing. And last but not least, thank you to coaches' wives for all that y'all do, that y'all put up with, and just take everything out. And y'all are there. Y'all are the backbone of this football team. With that being said, I want to look at Bill to bless our food right quick, and then we're going to go back around this way and come back through and grab you a Coke or a drink or whatever you want.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come here today to thank you for these young men and the opportunity to celebrate the fantastic journey they were fortunate enough to experience this past season. And we ask you to bless this food that we're about to receive to the nourishment for our bodies, and our bodies to thy service. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Good afternoon. Today I have the honor to present the Bryce Joyce Award. This year's recipient is an outstanding example of what this award stands for. While it bears the name of a person, it represents more than just a name. It represents hard work, dependability, trustworthiness, serving others, and love for the team. All qualities represented by Bryce Joyce, a former Catamount and a former quarterback club member. This year's winner has all of those qualities. He showed up every day wanting to make himself better and his teammates better. Throughout his time here, he did whatever was asked of him. This year's Bryce Joyce Award recipient is David Rivas.
All right, I'll be presenting the Carter McCamey Scholarship. Carter was a 1989 graduate of Dalton High School and was a member of the Dalton High School Catamount football and baseball teams. He also graduated from Auburn University in 1993 and was a member of Auburn's baseball team. Carter touched many lives by being a living example of the power of love towards his fellow man, the beauty of his faith in God, and the courage to battle cancer for 3 years. The Carter McCamey Scholarship helps a player pursue a college degree, regardless if they're playing in college or not. This year's recipient more than qualifies for this award. Has been an absolute pleasure to get to know and to coach. His mostly calm demeanor and outlook, paired with a pure tenacity and play style, has truly been fun to coach and just to be around. Watching his effort and determination to get better every week proves to me that regardless of where he goes next year, he will without a doubt be successful. This year's Carter McCamey Scholarship recipient is Jeff Sonlott.
All right, good afternoon. I have the privilege to present the George Farmer Scholarship Award. Most awards recognize some sort of accomplishment of greatness by an individual, but not this award. Coach Farmer had an eye for the underdog, and this year's recipient would make Coach Farmer smile. This player is one of the quiet leaders of the team and showed up every day to work. He did not earn much recognition throughout the season, but without him, we would not have made it as far as we did. This player is not only great on the field, but is an outstanding individual off the field, and someone I'm very proud of. I hope he realizes how much his hard work was appreciated by his team and his coaches. The recipient of the 2023 George Farmer Scholarship Award is Riley Souther. Congratulations.
This is our 5th year to present the Teresa Bennett Servant Leader Award. It's an award that memorializes an irreplaceable wife, mother, sister, daughter, friend, teacher, and servant leader. Teresa was the wife of Coach Jim Bennett and the mother to former Catamounts Cole Bennett and Ethan Bennett. It's an award that serves not only recognition of the hard and selfless work that Teresa performed daily, but more importantly, it reminds us of the very nature of Teresa. And this year's recipient is a perfect example of that. This year's recipient is Christy Souther. To present our academic awards, Dr. Collins is making his way up here. It really says a lot about the senior class, what they did on the field, but 8 of the 11 seniors had a cumulative GPA of 3.0, and so that's certainly something to be very proud of.
Do I need to say anything? This is my first time doing this, so you'll have to be patient with me. But I have the honor of presenting the academic awards. But I'm going to tell you, it's been a long time since I've been around a team and a group of kids that I wanted to pull for like I want to pull for you. You make it easy. I have people thank me for coming to away games. And I'm like, I couldn't imagine being anywhere else because you're good people and you're really easy to get behind and to pull for. And I appreciate you epitomize what the community stands for, and at the same time, you inspire us. You inspire the coaches and the community to dig down deep and to play and give it your all. And for that, I'm grateful. Adriel Hernandez. Do I need to be over there? Jeffson Locke. Michael Gwynn. Brandon Phelan. David Rivas. Riley Souther. Thank you. R.J. Story. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Striker Woods. Highest GPA award goes to Bannon Phelan. That's awesome. I talked too long.
No, you're good. That's perfect. Thank you. You know, I continue to say this every year, but this year it really is true that I really believe that we've got the greatest staff in the state of Georgia, and if not in the nation, and I'm so thankful to be a part of it. To introduce the defensive line, Ethan Marlowe. Inside linebackers, Mark and Gabby Hefner. Defensive backs, Hunter and Mallory Floyd. Outside linebackers, assistant head coach and head strength and conditioning coach, Scott and Tiffany Thompson. Offensive coordinator and quarterbacks, Eric and Christine Long. Offensive line, Josh and Brittany Martin. Wide receivers and director of football operations, Adam and Jennifer Martinez. Tight ends and H-backs and strength and conditioning and director of fashion and apparel, Cole and Lindsay Bennett. Running backs coach, Matt and Hannah Harris. Head coach of Hammond Creek Tigers and our kicking coach, Georgia Militia Woods. One of the toughest jobs that you'll ever try to fill as part of a football staff is the video people to help film the games. You know, we've been very, very fortunate with Brandon Brown, but one angle is just not enough anymore. And so I wanted to thank Spencer Hammondtree and Wim Williams, or AKA Grampy. And one of the toughest positions that we're going to have to fill is our ball boys, because most of them are graduating out and are actually going to be players, and so it's going to make it very, very tough a year from now. We'll start with Brax Bennett. Briggs Bennett. O.C. Carpenter, Hannah Hill. Jack Martinez. Clayton Thompson. And Kane Woods. Our assistant athletic trainers, Samaya Simpson. I don't think they made it. Camden Whipple and Jacob Klutz. Coach Long.
Got the honor to talk a little bit about our offense this afternoon. It was a special group of kids that played on Friday nights, most of whom played both ways, 150 snaps a game. And anybody that knows football understands that we ask a lot of our kids, both offensively and defensively, as far as the mental side of it, and they did a great job. So I can't be more proud of this group and the accomplishments they had this season. Overall, we rushed for 1,963 yards, so almost 2,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, had over 14 explosive plays rushing the football. Adriel himself had 1,397 yards, rushing 18 touchdowns for us, along with playing full-time defense as well. Passing, we had 2,887 yards, 32 total touchdowns. Ethan himself had 2,848 yards, 64% completions, and 31 touchdowns while only throwing 6 interceptions. We had 2 800-yard-plus receivers, Bubba and Kenny, who had numerous touchdowns. We also had 3 300-plus receivers with Adriel, Jeffson, and RJ. We had 51 total explosive plays on offense this season, which is pretty high. And we had 56 total touchdowns, only giving up 10 turnovers all year. So really good job offensively for these guys that played. We had 4,850 total yards of offense and average about 35 points per game. So I can't be more proud with those guys. But saying all that, there's absolutely nothing that we couldn't gain 1 yard without the guys up front. And they don't get enough recognition. But the offensive line that played on Friday nights, they opened up big holes. They kept people off the quarterback, and they did a heck of a job all season long. I can't even count the amount of pancakes we had all year with the tight ends and the O-line. I think we got sacked maybe a handful of times. So great job up front for the big guys. Very proud of you guys. Excited to see what the future holds for everybody that comes back. But you guys did a great job this season. Now I'm going to talk about the quarterbacks. Start with the youngest, Harrison Horn, freshman. Yeah, you're good. You're good. There you go. Good job, man. Next one is where's he at? So I can see him. Where's the king at? Where's he? There he is. All right. I've seen somebody that hates getting depth on boot out passes as much as this kid. And loves getting thrown down on the ground, but we're getting better at it. Come on up, Asher. Good job. All right, the last one, I know decently well. It's always a little bit harder to coach your kid. I'm definitely hard on him. We do a lot of coaching at nighttime as well. But like I said, I think he finished 13th in the state of Georgia in passing. It was 2,848 yards, 64% completions, 31 touchdowns. It's probably better than any quarterback season than anyone I've coached so far in my coaching career. So it just makes it extra special. It's your kid. Come on up, Ethan. Good job.
Good afternoon. My name is Coach Martinez. I coach the wide receivers. And today I'm going to talk to you about some kids that we had a really good year, I thought, as far as expectation out of our group, for most of us anyway. And then our young kids coming up, and I'll talk about them first. The first one is TK Christian. TK did a good job learning the position. He played several different positions before he came to me. Really proud of TK, gotten better as the year went on. The next one was a surprise to me. Came out, said he never played football before. Adrian Serta. Adrian does a good job. Did really good in JV. Caught some key passes. Came to work every day. Has pretty good speed. We're excited about him. The next one is Will the Thrill Rogers. Number 30, Will's a really good receiver, really good athlete overall. Found himself getting some varsity playing time as a ninth grader. Really proud of him. Number 4, Nash Smith. Nash had the season cut short from us, but Nash never left my side and was always right there asking 1,000 questions like he's supposed to. Really excited about Nash. Number 81, Brady Haynes. Brady worked hard all year. Saw some success in the JV. Appreciate it, Brady. Thank you. Now on to our seniors. I don't want to displace and go any forward. Number 5, Kendrick Slunge, you stay right there. He is our receiver. We have certain groups that we're talking about today, but I'd be remiss if I did not mention his name. He was out there all year. I told him I wasn't going to pick on him tonight. Expect big things out of him. He's the only guy that I know that I've ever coached that expects critique, wants me to tell him what he did wrong, wants me to load his film, and have a cut up for himself. And that's how you get better. Expect big things out of Kendrick. Number 1, Elijah Tanner. Bubba is a great athlete. Known Bubba since he was a little kid. I heard Grandmama always say, "Do your thing, Bubba," and he did this year. Really proud of Bubba and what he's done and to have an exciting career. Last but not least, RJJ Story. My beard was black when I started the season out, and then RJ Story did this to me. No, I love RJ. RJ came to work. I just had to stay on RJ. It's just the truth of it, what it is. But RJ makes some big plays for us this year, and he had an exciting time. Also played well on defense, but he did really well, and just we knew what to expect out of him. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. My name is Coach Harris, and I've coached the running backs. And just like Coach Martinez said, we had a lot of people that are playing both ways. So some people will be taught by their offensive coach, some with the defense. So before I get into introducing the running backs, Adriel, I'll stay right there. But I do want to – I can't go without saying something about Adriel. So in his years past, Adriel's primarily been a defensive player. He would come in and help in spots offensively at running back. He would change speeds, fast out of the backfield, all that kind of stuff. This year, however, he really had to step his offensive role playing up. I think it was week 3 after Lassiter game, Adriel came to me and said, "Hey, Coach, I want to be a 1,000-yard rusher." And I said, "Adriel, I do the stats. Right now you're at like 250. In 3 games, you need to average about 100 yards. So Adriel said, "Bet, on God," all that stuff, right? So after that week, Adriel rolls off a 120-yard game, 190, 130, 210, and before you know it, he ends the season with just shy of 1,400 yards. So like I said, Adriel, I'm proud of you. I can't go without saying anything, but that's Adriel. So now we also had a lot of guys play running back roles at times. Bubba was another one. Andy, Adrian Gongora. A lot of guys kind of filled in and played some running back. So there's a lot of guys that I could talk about. But now for my individual guys. First up, freshman Julio Perez. Where you at? So Julio had a great JV season this year. I mean, he's a big kid. He's really hard to bring down in those JV games. And that really helps us when we're just trying to hold on to the ball, pound the clock. It's easy just to move the ball down the field with Julio. Really proud of you. Bjorn's not here. Number 3, David, senior. Come on up. Good job, David. We're real proud of David. David's a hard worker. He's here every day. We've already talked about him a little bit, and we got a little more to say about him later. So, David, I'm going to hold that off till the end. Congratulations.
All right, I had the tight ends and the H-backs, so starting with the youngest, Aiden Ashlock. Aiden is the youngest of our group, but has the most advanced skills in trash talking out of everyone. If you ever think you're doing well in life or sport or think you've arrived, just stand by Aiden for a few minutes and he'll put you back down to earth without any fuss. All joking aside, Aiden has a tremendous amount of potential and the ability to play both inside and outside the box as a blocker and a receiver. In a group of potential young tight ends, Aiden quickly established himself as the guy due to his knowledge of the offense and consistent effort. I look forward to working with Aiden in the future and personally really appreciate having someone in the group that keeps everyone humble, including me. Next up, Holden Horn. Holden is by far one of the tougher kids I've come across. He battled some off-season issues that impacted his ability to train this winter and put him a little behind in the summer. Holden didn't let that phase him as he pushed himself in the summer and into the fall. Unfortunately, a broken collarbone sidelined him for a period of time this season, but instead of hanging it up and waiting until next year, he pushed himself to get back and contribute. He saw action on special teams this year, and I will look forward to him being part of the offense going forward. While we have a lot to replace at tight end, I think Holden Ashlock will keep the group right on track. All right. For the seniors, you know, it's funny on the internet, I would be considered a tight end guru. Okay, I could stop coaching and teaching. I could sell online books and pontificate about how good I am as a coach and how easy it is to be just like me. But the reality is, I've just been incredibly fortunate to have two highly skilled and highly motivated guys play for me. The secret in coaching that no one really likes to talk about, it's all about the Jimmies and Joes and not about the X's and O's you draw on the board. I've been honored to have two incredible athletes to work with over the past 2 years, like their squirp father, John Frank, their brothers Anderson, Jackson, and Drew. These two squirps have grown and evolved tremendously over the past 2 seasons. With that being said, Bannon Phelan. Bannon is without a doubt my second favorite Phelan kid. Bannon really transformed his ability both as a blocker and a receiver this year. Already a solid player, he got to expand his skill set this season, playing at least 50% of the game split outside of the box. While sometimes this was odd for me as a coach to spend more time watching him run routes and blocking corners instead of ends and linebackers, Bannon excelled at this in his new role. He worked hard and he was always asking for his performance evaluations where on the Mountain Dew tier list he might rank. Did he achieve vegan Mountain Dew status this week? How many pancakes? He would often argue with me over text if he felt like I miscalculated the totals. One of the highest compliments I can give someone as an Auburn graduate is to say to an Alabama fan, you're an okay person, and Bannon, you're an okay person, and I'll miss you. Next up, Jeffson Locke. You know, Jeffson, it's unfortunate that Aiden is such a good trash talker because otherwise you would be the #1 guy. Always ready to put his buddy Bannon in his place, Jeffson was right there with a quick comment or insult to keep the group humble. Without a doubt, one of the most physical players I've coached in the past 15 years. He recorded numerous pancakes, and I actually had to coach him multiple times on how to avoid holding calls when he pancaked people. Silent at times and often just needing someone to vent his frustrations to during a game, you've taught me a lot about patience and when to let you work through something and when to step in. I'm extremely proud of how you've developed and evolved your playing ability this past season. Just as big a threat to catch a needed ball, to get a first down or score as he was to destroy an end on the kickout. I'll miss you, Jeffson. Just know that I and the Squirps will always be here for you, even when you don't respond to the group chat.
All right, good afternoon. I'm Coach Martin. I'm going to speak about a bunch of the offensive linemen. Obviously, we have a lot of linemen in the program, so me and Coach Marler are going to kind of split that responsibility. I'm going to start with the young guys first and kind of work to the old guys. First young player is Kason Blackwell. So Kason's obviously a big kid. We have high hopes for him. He shows up to practice every day working hard. I mean, he's the type at practice where he gives 100% effort no matter what he's doing. And a lot of the older guys didn't like practicing against him as he wasn't going to take it easy on him. He never stopped that effort, and we look forward to his future. I think he's got a bright future in this program, and can't say enough about Kason. All right, next up is Knox Carpenter. Knox is another young kid, freshman that we think has a bright future. His thing is, at practice, he'll go in at any position no matter what you need. And that's something that we like to see, especially with linemen. Like you said, I need a left tackle. He's like, Coach, I'll go in. I need a right guard. Coach, I'll go in. I need a center. Coach, he didn't care what position it was. He was going to go in, and same thing, he was going to give great effort no matter what he was doing. Even if he's holding a bag, he's going to give maximum effort, and that's something that you can't really coach. You know, it's something that you hope the players do, and that's what he brings every single day. So looking forward to his future as well in the program. All right, next up is 10th grader Misael Hernandez. So we call him the missile because early in the season, might even been before the season, he'd come out and just strike you. He brings great physicality, works hard in the weight room, and we're looking forward to him stepping up and really competing for a varsity spot next year. A lot of these young guys are going to step up because we're replacing 3 big senior spots up front. So next up is Andrew Rivera. And I thought Andrew had a great season this year, worked hard at practice, worked hard in the game, always wanted to get better, always wanted to be coached. Hey, Coach, how can I do this better? Hey, Coach, what do I need to do to fix this? He always asked for input and for feedback, and I appreciate that from Andrew. Next up is Wes Sumner. So Wes is the kind of the center in waiting. We kind of call him Little Riley sometimes. Holds some of the attributes. But we look forward to seeing what Wes can do the next several years. Had a great year. I mean, he was like every time I looked on the field, he was mauling someone. He was taking them to the ground, practice game. It didn't matter against older guys, younger guys. He was killing them, which was awesome to see. So again, the physicality is hard to coach. He has it, so we're looking forward to seeing what he can bring to us the next several years. All right, next up is the accountant, Ethan Dempsey. So myself and Coach Cole kind of have a joke that he looks like he could do your taxes, but on the field, he'd knock you down. I think Ethan, I mean, probably in our group, one of the most improved players from last year to this year. Worked hard in the weight room, got to moving a lot better. He had a great season, and I look forward to seeing what he can bring the next couple of years. You just got to keep working hard and keep getting better. All right, that's it for the 10th graders. 11th grader, the first one is Eric Fryer. So Eric started for us at multiple positions. He was kind of the utility guy, which is hard to find. He could literally play every position on the offensive line except center. We just didn't practice him at center. But when other people rotated in, he was the one that moved. So he's very valuable. We're very lucky to have him coming back next year. Not really sure where he'll play, but he will definitely play. And he had a great year. Last year he broke his ankle against Calhoun, and that's something that's hard to kind of overcome, come back and play and be comfortable with. And he did a great job with that. So I'm very proud of Eric. Thought he had a great year and looking forward to him coming back next year. All right, next up is Adrian Garcia. So I love Adrian. Adrian, hard worker, great kid, very respectful, works hard in the weight room, works hard at practice, works hard on the field. Again, another one of these juniors that's going to have to step up and compete for starting time next year. Again, we're going to have to rely on all these young guys to fill the shoes of these older guys. Really proud of Adrian, and I'm looking forward to what he can do next year as well. Next junior is Amir Garcia. So Amir handled all of our snapping for the year, field goals, PATs, punts, everything. He also rotated on the offensive line. He had a great FCA camp leading into the season, and really he was so valuable because of the snapping that we were hesitant to put him in some on offense. But he's one that right now he has a starting job if he wants it. He just got to keep showing up, keep working hard, and I'm excited to see what he does next year as well. So we have a good group of juniors you can see coming back. And the last junior I'm going to speak about is Francisco Ortiz. So Francisco was a role player, rotator. I'm sure you saw him on the field a good bit. He was always ready to go, always practiced like he was a starter. And moving forward, I mean, he's one of the guys, right? We know he's coming back. He's got a lot of game experience. I mean, he's grown tremendously from last season to this season, and I expect him to do the same moving into next season. And he's another one that just wants to get better. Like, Coach, how can I get better? Coach, what can I do to get better? And he's really grasped the playbook, and he's ready to roll. So I'm excited to see him playing all next year. All right, 2 seniors I'm going to talk about. The first one is Mikey Wynn. Hey, yeah. So I love Michael. I could sit here and talk all night about him. I mean, He started last year for us also, so he's a 2-year starter that we're losing. Never really came off the field. A lot of people don't know. I mean, maybe you do, but a lot of teams game plan for like the weak spot of the offense, right? And Mikey's not the tallest guy, but he's a starter, right? And they know that. But I know that teams purposely game plan to attack him, and he still held his own all season. Like, you know, you're coming in. Like, not a lot of people can say that. Like, you know, coming into the game that they're going to come after you. They're going to put their best player against you. They're going to blitz right at you, and teams did that all season. And he held his own, never backed down, never stopped fighting. I mean, you'd have to basically pull him off the field to get him to stop playing. I love Mikey, great person, going to have a great future, whatever he decides to do with himself. And I'm sorry to see him go. I'm sad to see him go. He's going to be very hard to replace. Just his intangibles and his work ethic and his attitude. Very positive young man. Always brings a positive mindset. Happy, smiles, which is awesome when you're in the battle, and you know you can trust on him. Love Mikey. So, last senior I'm going to talk about is Riley Souther. So Riley, to me, was kind of the leader of the pack. We had 3 senior starters, both guards in the center, so the heart of our offense. Like Coach Long said, I mean, none of this offensively could happen without these guys up front, and I truly believe that. And the 2 guards in the center were all 3 seniors, 2-year starters. Some of them started more than 2 years. They're going to be very hard to replace. I'm going to miss Riley a ton. And like I said, Riley didn't really get a lot of credit, but he never stopped. He showed up every single day, worked his tail off, gave his all, overcame injuries, overcame hurt, and just kept fighting. He's probably one of the toughest kids I've ever met. I mean, he always has something lingering. I mean, I know, like, before I got here 2 years ago, he, like, broke his leg and came back from that. And he said, just fought through it, never gave up. And you'd have to take him off on a wheelchair to get him to basically stop playing. And I could tell he was hurting, and he'd say, Coach, don't take me out. Or I'm good, Coach. I'm going back in. I'm good. You're not taking me out. So I appreciate that and love Riley. And I do have one more senior striker that Coach Marlowe's going to talk about. Striker, I love you, and I'll talk more about you later. Hey, but I love you guys. Thank you. That's the offensive line.
Before we get started with the defensive side of the ball, there's one award that we wanted to wait till now to give out. Andy Johnson.
The Kelly McCutcheon Quarterback Award. The Kelly McCutcheon Quarterback Award is an award about serving others, and this gentleman serves others. LaDarren, if you would stand up, please. Come on, LaDarren, wow, the things you do. Has given so much of his time to the Catamounts, not just our football team, to everybody. You know, all the guys, all the girls, the things that you do for all our sports is pretty amazing. Thank you very much, LaDarren, for being with us as long as you have, and hope to have you around for a lot longer. Thank you.
As we get ready to start talking about defense, our defense is always made possible by a collective effort from Friday night to Friday night, and that's only made possible because of coaches that may not be visible every day at practice, but they work tirelessly behind the scenes and on Friday nights to ensure that we're always prepared and never missing a beat. I want to give a special shout out to Coach Ricky Hammondtree, Coach Major, who's not with us, Coach Simpson, and Coach Oliver. We appreciate everything that you do for us. We're so proud of the effort these young men put in game after game, practice after practice, and heart, play after play, even when the odds seemed very insurmountable. But they never back down. They continued to do what we've asked them to do, and that's what makes this group of kids so special. But as always, the quality of the defense starts with the defensive line. Coach Marlowe.
All right, we're going to start youngest to oldest. Steve make it? All right, we're going to start with Gavin Massengill. Gavin's a really good player for us, very good technique kid, very good effort. I can't wait to see him grow into the player he's going to be. Being a freshman, he played behind a lot of sophomores at the JV level, but still got a lot of playing time, but had a great year, and can't wait to see him develop. Next is Gio Rangel. Very similar to Gavin, he's behind a lot of sophomores at the JV level, but every day came to work. Just got to get more consistent in what we want him to do. And as he learns and grows, he's going to be a good player for us as well. The last freshman is JJ. JJ came out right after school started, so he got a little late start with us, but, man, he worked hard every day. He became a really good snapper as well, so we talked about Amir being a good snapper earlier. JJ is going to be a really good one as well, and as he continues to develop, he's going to be a good player for us as well. So that's our freshman. Next is Christian Rangel. Very, very tough kid, played a lot of reps for us on JV and gave us a good look in practice every day that we needed it. And once again, he's going to be a good player for us down the road. Freddie Vega. So Freddie, once again, very, very hard worker. I watched this group a lot in the summer, watching them work out, and I don't think anybody got as low as Freddie did in squats. And it's pretty impressive with how big he is, how low he got. But, man, he works so hard in the weight room, really, really hard on the field, and we're trying to find him a spot on the defensive line somewhere in the future. So, Freddie, just keep working. We're going to keep working with you. Next is Preston Cox. So Preston's got a lot of playing time the last couple of years at the varsity level, and he's obviously not as big as Freddie, but Preston does exactly what we ask him to and does a really, really good job at it. And I tell the guys, if you can do what we tell you to do, you're going to find playing time. That's why he's played so much early, and can't wait to see what he does the next couple of years. Next is Cass Button. Cass is a very talented young kid. This is the first time he had played in a while, I think. Played in a while this year. Once again, he's going to have to get in the weight room, work with Coach Thompson and Coach Cole this offseason, and continue to grow, and he should have a bright future. Jeffrey Gordon. Jeff is another kid that does exactly what we ask him to do. He works really, really hard every day at practice. He probably did not get as much playing time as he would like this year, but he's going to have to continue to grow and develop, and he's going to be a very, very hard worker and continue to do good things. The last sophomore is Jaden Poteet. Jaden was a staple of our JV defensive line this year. He played really, really well. He also played both ways, tried to play some tight end and H-back as well. He found his way onto the field later in the year on the varsity level as special teams and did a really, really good job with that. I specifically remember him making a tackle in the Cartersville game on a punt, which was really, really good. Once again, Jaden's got to continue to develop and do what we ask him to do, and he's going to be a good player for us. All right. Next, we have the juniors, Hector Gonzalez. So I remember last year Hector was always asking Coach, what I need to work on, what I need to work on, what I need to work on. And did this year a little bit less of that, but he continued to work hard. And later in the year, we continued to try to find depth, and Hector was that guy. He ended up, by the end of the year, playing a lot of snaps for us, and he did a really, really good job of doing what we asked him to do, and he did that by playing on the JV every Thursday. He did what we asked him to do. I said, Coach, he's doing what we asked him to do. So we gave him a shot and ended up starting the last game of the year this year and got a lot of good reps. So Hector should have a big year next year as a senior. Next is Peyton Starling. So Peyton has played a lot here as a junior. He played a lot here as a freshman on the offense side of the ball, and then last year did not play as much as he wanted to as a sophomore. But Peyton will tell you he did some things he wasn't supposed to do on the field, and now he tells the older guy, if you don't do what Coach Marlowe tells you to do, you ain't going to play a whole lot, right? And Peyton had a heck of a year. I think he led us in sacks this year, had a lot of tackles for loss, took a lot of double teams. But, man, his ability, his skill was very, very good as a two-way starter this year. Very, very coachable, and happy he is coming back next year. All right, our seniors. So I only have one to talk about right here, but I do want to make sure Bannon Jeff's on, Mikey Riley. Man, what y'all done the last 4 years has been incredible. Y'all have worked y'all's tails off, and we couldn't do what we did up front without you guys. Mikey and Riley, you guys were situational guys, and you kind of knew your deal. You were going to be offensive situational guys, and Bannon Jeff's on. I can't imagine all the reps that you guys took with special teams, defense, offense. It's been incredible to see y'all work this year. So I'm really proud of you guys, the way y'all came to work and did what we asked you to do every day. Our lone senior that I get to speak about is Striker Woods. So we could be here all night with all the stories about Striker, but, man, he's a really tough kid, two-way starter. He finally got a sack in the GAC game, a shoelace sack, so I was glad he got that because he was saying we didn't have the calculations right on his sacks. He swore he had one, but anyways, he finally got one, which is really, really good. He's saying he has two now, Coach Thompson. I don't know if that's true or not. But the big story with him was we played a four-man front for all the summer, all the spring, and then the North Murray game, and I think it was Snorville. It was anyway, game 2 or 3, we decided to shift, and we're going to go with a three-man front primarily that week. And, him and Peyton did a really, really good job for us inside. And so it turned into a rock, paper, scissors contest to see who was going to go in first. And about halfway through that week, they both had really good weeks. I said, well, the winner of this one's going to start Friday. And I don't know what he did, but from there on, I think he cheated. He won the rest of the rock, paper, scissors contest, I think the rest of the year. I don't know how he did it. So if anybody ever has to get in a competition with that, ask Striker because he knows how to win them. So, Striker, I'm proud of you. You did a great job the last 4 years for us, and I'm going to miss you.
Good afternoon. I'm Coach Hefner. I work with the inside linebackers, and I have 4 gentlemen here, 2 that we're going to recognize today. Let's start with our freshman, Weston Godfrey. Weston started for us in all of our JV games this year. Really tough kid. Something that I kind of learned about Weston as we went through the season is that he doesn't want to disappoint. And that's a pretty good quality to have because a kid like that means he's a team player. He's bought in, and he really wants to do well, not just for himself but for his team. The next one is Alan Hernandez, sophomore. Come on down, Alan. Got a lot of respect for Alan. Alan's not just a football player, but he also works on the side to support his family, and it takes a lot of sacrifice and dedication just to be a part of this program, and to think that he goes through what he goes through and then has to step out and go make a living. It just shows the type of sacrifice and the will and hard work ethic that he's developed. And both these guys, looking forward to them. Like I said, they both started for us on JV this year. And then next year, being that it's such a small group of linebacker core anyway, they're going to have to step up. So we got a lot of work to do, but I'm looking forward to working with these guys, and thank you for everything that you've done for us this year. Thank you, guys.
My name is Scott Thompson. One of my roles on the staff is the head strength coach. I say the head is on my the head title is on there, but Cole Bennett, everything that I do and we talk and communicate, and I ask. I probably annoy him, but I want to thank Cole for everything he does for these guys. I'm going to talk a little bit about the strength program before I get into the defensive backs. I'm extremely hard on each and every young man that is sitting here because I want them to be the best that they can be. And through this, I'm not trying to make them a better football player. I'm trying to make them a better man. I'm trying to make sure they're on time to work. I'm trying to make sure they're dedicated and they're a good team player. Through the off season, we have made tremendous strides. Last year's group started off, they never had 1 year in the weight room. last year's group because we had COVID. We were over at the junior high. We were just moved. They were putting the new weight room in. This was their first year being at the weight room during the summer at Dalton High, where we could use the track, we could use the turf, and we had to stay off the turf a little bit when they were working on it. We were on the baseball field, we were on the up on the soccer fields, but it worked out. Okay, we hang our hat on power cleans. Well, power clean is what I feel makes you a very explosive athlete. We also do the bench and we do the back squat. We test them in the 40, we test them in the 10, the slide test, the broad jump, the box jump, and the sled test. I think I said sled test twice, but we set them up and we evaluate them and we track them throughout their high school career from a freshman all the way to a senior. And we try to see the progression. And typically, I'm going to be honest with you, if they don't improve, it's nothing that I put together. It's something that has a little basis behind it. It's just hard work and dedication. If they do it, they're going to improve. They're going to improve. What I do, I sit down with Coach Cole and we evaluate each football player. We talk about them, not what type of football player they are, but what type of work ethic they do in the weight room. We started this last year. And then I meet personally with each and every athlete, okay? And I go over with them their bench, power clean, and squat. We try to give them a goal, what to shoot for. Then also it's kind of tough love. It's tough love. We talk to them about, are you on time? Do you work hard in the weight room? Do you skip sets? Do you skip reps? And I give them a score from 1 to 5. And once again, I like to be honest with people and be upfront with them. And with this group, they understood it. No one really argued with it. They agreed with it for the most part, and got after it during the off season. And I'm going to talk about the top 10 in improvements and top 10 in the weight room in just a minute. But I was very proud of this group and how they worked. Okay, let's talk about through the improvements that we had this year. If I call your name, please stand up. Our top, excuse me, I got so many sheets here. Okay, our top, going the top 10. Stand up, Jaden Poteet, Cameron Staten, Hector Gonzalez, Denzel Vasquez, Kendricks London, Amir Garcia, Preston Cox, Eric Frere, Nash Smith, and Francisco Ortiz. Okay, give him a hand. You can sit down now. Now, you can sit down, guys. Francisco was our top improvement. He improved 175 pounds in 3 lifts, which is unbelievable. He's right now benching close to 300 pounds, but he really sold out to the weight room. And if you want to be good, you better sell out to the weight room. Now, our top tier, if you notice, it is harder when you're at the top tier to improve. Most of these guys that stood up were young guys because it's easier to improve at a freshman, sophomore, or junior than it is a senior. But our top 10 in the weight room this year was R.J. Story, Mikey Wynn, Peyton Starling, please stand up, Striker Woods, Elijah Tanner, Bannon Phelan, Andy Anagana, Adriel Hernandez, Riley Souther, and our top lifter of 1,045 pounds in 3 lifts was Jeff Sonlock. Please sit down. Okay, now moving on to outside linebacker. Outside linebacker, the first young man I'd like to talk about is Adrian Frere. Please come up. Adrian came to work every practice. He did not take it as a not to be on JV, because when he got out there, he worked. He did everything he could at practice to improve. We kept him on the defensive side so he could continue to work. He didn't get much offensive reps on a crossover. He's got great things to look for in a couple of years. Okay, Holden, you don't have to come up, but Holden was with me. He's going to have a chance to play this year, offense or defense, on outside linebackers or tight ends. Next is Ashton Parker. Ashton probably has the most potential to fill in Adriel's position because he can play safety, He can play. He can play outside linebacker, come down and play the run and play the pass. We need to have that person, which is called our adjuster, that can play up and play back. We moved him down there probably halfway through the year. He accepted it, his role, got in on special teams at the end because of his tackling skills and the JV games, and look for great things from Ashton. I'm going to go with House next. Avery House, please, come up. Avery needs to sell out to the weight room, period. He needs to sell out to the weight room. By doing that, he's going to be a very special and strong young man at outside linebacker. He comes to work. He misses a couple of days, but he comes to work. And when he's there, he works hard. He does everything I ask him to do. He was one of those young men that stayed on the defensive side both times. But when we did our scrimmage, he played running back and did really good at that. But he needs to be physical, work hard, and he can earn a starting position. Okay, now to my last junior. And I'm going to say, before I bring him up, I want everybody to look at me. Every football player look at me. JV is not a knock. Scout team is not a knock. If you come to practice and you just work against the number ones, you're going to get better. This young man, as a sophomore, was JV, never has complained a day in his life that I know of. He comes to work. He gives great effort against the scout team as a sophomore. The offense tells us the problems they're having with him. We put him on special teams, and he starts. And he has not relinquished that starting position since then. If you want to look up to somebody, if you want to know what it takes, it used to be that freshmen you didn't play here when I first got here 27 years ago. You didn't play until you were a senior. You had to work as a freshman, sophomore, and junior through the scout team, through the JV, and hone your craft. Denzel Vasquez, please come here. This young man does not say much. He does not get the credit he deserves. He only had, I think, 46 tackles, but because he did his job setting the corner, Staten made the tackle. The safeties made the tackle. He took on 250, 300-pound pulling guards and did his job. For my son, I want you to understand, JV and scout team is not a knock. You work on your craft and you improve. Denzel, you are catamount through and through, buddy. My one senior. I've talked to his brother to try to counsel him, to try to see what I can do. When he came to me, Angel, come on up. I want to give you a hug, buddy. I love you. I had the hardest time making a connection with Angel Hernandez. I had the hardest time because me and my guys were always so close. But the thing that you got to understand about Angel, you have to earn his trust. You can't get on to him in front of anybody. You got to pull him aside because if you get on to him, he gets very argumentative. Okay? So I learned that. When things would go on during the season, I'd call his brother, AJ, in Statesboro and see what I can do to handle him. But this young man last year had 145 tackles, led the team in tackles, got hurt at Loganville, did not play against Creekside all season. Me and Coach Cole had to modify his workout to take care of his back because we knew he was hurt. It's one of those things, I don't know if he's hurt or not. He could not bend down to pick anything up. In the off season, he did the least of anybody in probably my 27 years because we were trying to get him healthy. knowing that he was going to be our running back because he was our backup running back last year. We knew he was going to be our starting running back. We were going to move him to a free safety position and kind of stem him up and back to try to take the pounding off of him. I didn't know how much I'd have him, to tell you the truth. But before we played North Murray, Adriel was playing outside backer, and he wasn't playing free safety, and he was a starting running back. He averaged a game 120 plays. Now, he's taking a pounding as a running back. He's taking a pounding as an outside backer, taking on the pulling guards. I asked him more, how is he doing, if he was okay. We got a relationship where we could talk and communicate probably 2 years ago. I love Adriel to death. This year, he ended the season with 122 tackles. He had 2 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown. He had 6 sacks. He had 16 tackles for losses. He had 2 pass breakups and 1 fumble recovery, plus having 1,400 yards rushing. Adriel, you're going to be missed. You got a big hole to fill, and I hope these young men step up. I love you very much. That's the outside linebackers.
Hey, I'm Coach Floyd. I have the honor to introduce the defensive backs. I'm going to start off with Camden London. Camden was a dominant athlete for his grade level as a corner and wanted to compete with all of our seniors. That didn't end well most of the time, but he was wanting to compete. He was eager to get on varsity this year and get out to compete, so he earned a spot on special teams and excelled at that. He was dominant for us on defense on JV and is a natural competitor. I look forward to his contributions next year to this team. Next up is Kamani Spearman. Kamani showed up every day and gave his best. Some days he was a pain in my butt. But majority of the time, he came up, he did what he was supposed to do, and we got along this year. Next up is Eduardo Villa. Eddie competed in JV this year and improved every single game. He was special to me, as he always came to me at practice and asked me how to get better. He'd ask me what he needs to do when he gets home every single day for probably 4 weeks straight. The growth he's shown since 8th grade is amazing. He's still learning the game of football, and I'm very excited to see him grow into a young man and an athlete. Next up is Park Silvers. Park showed great growth early this spring, and I was very excited to coach him this summer. I was very excited to see how he would grow during the season. Fortunately, he was not able to finish the season, but that didn't stop him from coming out every single day and doing what was needed to help his teammates succeed. We're looking forward to him being a part of our team next year and contributing where he needs to contribute. Alden Woods. Alden and me had a really good relationship every day. He was the one that kind of cooled me down and kind of made everything be a reality. He was always nice. He always asked for whatever I needed him to do, he would do. He came to practice every day and not once complained about anything that was asked of him. He isn't the biggest kid on our roster, nor the fastest, but he showed up and competed every single day. I'm very proud of him and how he finished the season, and I'm excited for the next season. Next up is Alex Rangel. Alex Rangel's very, very quiet. He's a very quiet kid. He'll do anything you ask him to do. He helped out on scout team as much as he could. He came to practice every day, did what was asked of him, and tried his best every play. It is awesome to see his growth from a year ago, and I'm excited to see that his knowledge in football continues to grow, and I'm looking forward to that next season. Next, we're going to talk about the juniors. First up is going to be Kendricks London. Kenny is a natural athlete. We're going to rely on him a lot next year. This year he had a very big role at safety. He was really our brains of our defense, and everything revolved around him, and he was checking for everybody to be all right every single play. He works hard every single day at practice, and he loves to compete. We're excited to see what next year has in store for him. He ended the season with 59 tackles, 1 interception, and 6 pass breakups. Is Cameron Staten? Next up is Adrian Gongora. Adrian Gongora was an awesome, great corner. He's made so much improvement since last year. He was our versatile player this season while leading the team as a kicker. He's just as good as a corner for us on defense, and anytime we needed him to step up and meet a need, he exceeded. He's going to have a great senior season, and we are all very excited to have him on our roster. Next two aren't my kids to give awards to, but I can't talk about Andy before I talk about Bubba, before I talk about RJ. So first off, I'm going to talk about Bubba. I've known Bubba since he was in 4th grade. My first job was at the Boys and Girls Club right out of high school, so that was a long time ago. Ever since I met Bubba, every single person that he's been around loves him and adores him and wants him to succeed. The growth he has made as a football player and a young man is incredible. He was our acrobatic athlete on defense, and he would do flips around. It was ridiculous. But he ended the season with 92 tackles, 5 interceptions, and 21 pass breakups. So that's Bubba Tanner. Next up is the RJ. RJ. You never knew what kind of day he was having until he entered your drill. And having him and the other two combined in my drill sometimes was difficult. Nevertheless, he competed on both good and bad days, and he knew how to keep you on your toes. He was a great coverage corner for us on defense and made the big plays when they were needed. He has incredible talent, and I'm excited to see how things play out for him in the future. He had 42 tackles, 4 interceptions, and 6 pass breakups for us. That's RJ's story. Last but not least, Auntie Adagana. Me and Andy had a very interesting relationship at the beginning of the year. Andy really didn't trust me. I didn't trust Andy. Okay, it was a little bit of a battle, but it was to see the growth that he's made from the beginning of the year to now is astonishing. Andy helped us on defense and led us in a very specific way. He dominated as a corner and came to compete against anyone that we played. We played a bunch of different D1 receivers, and every time we had it, we said, Andy, go get on him. And there wasn't much coaching involved unless he did something wrong, obviously. But he was very physical. He dominated at his position. He ended the season with 57 tackles, 4 interceptions, and 9 pass breakups. That's Andy.
I'm Coach Woods. I coached the kickers and got to work with the kids through the years, and I just want to say it's an honor to coach with these coaches up here in this staff for Dalton Public Schools. And I want to say to our seniors, you did everything you were supposed to do, and you got it right. Thank you for all the memories from the time I was 5 years old and up. Thank you. I'm going to talk about Manny in just a second, but I want to talk about Gongora too. He's not in my group because he's an athlete. And he's also a kicker. But we've got 2 of the best kickers, I think, in the state coming up. And not a lot of people know about both of them, but they are pretty soon. Gongora, you did a great job. Thank you very much for what you did for our program. Number 95, Manny Munoz. He's a sophomore. Would you come on up? Manny is probably one of the hardest working players on the team. Not everybody notices, but he's down there doing all the drills that Coach Carpenter and I put together for him to do. He was always ready to go. He goes to camps. He wants to know about what type of shoe to wear. I tell him some techniques, him and Gongora both. And I've taught him a few things about the sound of the ball when you kick it, whether I'm looking at you or not. I can tell if you made a good kick. But I will say Manny wants it. Along with Gongora, they both want it. They want to be great. And Manny, you've got a big opportunity ahead of you. You keep working, son, and you'll be great. Thank you.
All right, before we move into the individual awards, I wanted to recognize our all-region players. And these all-region players were voted on by the other coaches in the region. First up, offense, Mikey Wynn. Kendricks London, Riley Souther, Ethan Long, Peyton Starling, R.J. Story, Bannon Phelan, these are our first team offensive players. Jeffson Locke, Bubba Tanner, and Striker Woods. Now, what kind of makes the all-region awards kind of difficult, certainly for us, as we had so many guys go both ways. If you won it on one side, you were not eligible to win it on the other. Defensively, we had Caleb Staten, R.J. Story, Kendricks London, Peyton Starling. And our first team defense all region was Andy Antagania. And our punter, Squirrel. Congratulations. You know what makes it really unique is for the second year in a row we've produced a player of the year, came out of our team in our region. Adriel Hernandez. All right, as we move into the individual awards, it's important to understand that these awards were either voted on by their teammates or were voted on by the coaching staff. Any good team, whether it's in sports or in business, the success largely depends on the leadership, and these four guys filled that role perfectly. Bubba Tanner, Adriel Hernandez, Jeffson Locke, and Striker Woods.
All right, I have the privilege to present the next two awards. The first is the Judge Prudent Leadership Award. Leadership is the ability of an individual to influence and guide followers by providing clear and compelling direction, so whether that be by their words or by their actions. This young man played both sides of the ball all season in the trenches. He faced much bigger opponents but never backed down, and most of the time he ended up whipping the guy across from him, even if he was bigger than him. To me, he was the spoken leader of the team in the locker room and on the field. His desire for this team and this program to be great showed every day at practice and during the games. He's one of the most passionate players I've ever coached, and someone that will be successful in life due to his determination to be great. The recipient of the 2023 Judge Prudent Leadership Award is Striker Woods. All right, next is the Golden Helmet Sportsmanship Award. So I've talked about this player a little bit already, but he displayed great physical and mental toughness through the season. He was a very violent player and played through the whistle every play. While doing this, he had great sportsmanship. I don't believe he committed a single penalty all season. He's one of the hardest workers I've ever coached and someone that never gives up. Playing center is one of the most undervalued, if not the most undervalued positions on a football team. If you've had the privilege to play center, you know that. You don't get any credit, really, and a lot is due. But this player is the best center I've actually ever coached, and I'm very proud of him, and he's also one of the greatest humans I've ever coached. His parents should be very proud of him, as I am. The recipient of the 2023 Golden Helmet Sportsmanship Award is Riley Souther.
I'm presenting the Erwin Mitchell Team Spirit Award. This award is awarded to a young man that represents everything it means to be a great team player. He showed up every day and did what was asked of him, and always did it with a positive attitude. He is a player that truly wants to see his team succeed and is willing and eager to do whatever is necessary to do his part. This year's Erwin Mitchell's Team Spirit Award recipient is David Rivas.
Is Chuck here? I don't think so. Okay. All right. What used to be the Charter Media Positive Influence Award is now known as the Chuck Harris Positive Influence Award. And since Chuck is not here, I think I can safely talk about him in a positive way, because I wouldn't want him to really think about, know what I really think about him, and that would ruin our relationship, friendship thing we have. Okay. So, all right. So, Chuck, when I moved here in 1993 and until this day, Chuck has been a fixture of Dalton football, known for his pregame speeches every week and recently being our team captain and FCA representative for the area. What you might not see is how Chuck works behind the scenes and helps players in ways not even their teammates know. Whether it be a meal, an open ear, or a ride, Chuck is always ready to help. This player for this year's Positive Influence Award works in much the same ways. He embodies the quote that says, "A rising tide will float all ships." He sacrificed and altered his roles, but always worked to help bring everyone along together. A guy that monitors and works to bring their teammates up to their full potential along with yourself. He will not be easily replaced, and I'm not even going to try. I've learned that guys like this don't come along a lot, and it's best just to enjoy and cultivate the culture they bring with them. This year's Chuck Harris Positive Influence Award goes to Bannon Phelan.
Really, what a difference a year makes for some people. The recipient of this award was actually so bad on defense a year ago that we had to quit playing him. But somewhere between now and then, he certainly got it figured out. He was certainly a great player for us defensively, and I couldn't be more proud for Jeff's son. He finished the year with 126 tackles, 19 tackles for loss, 10 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, and a blocked punt. Congratulations, Jeff Sonlock.
The Offense MVP Award, this could have obviously went to a lot of different people on the team. We had a lot of great playmakers. And, again, this couldn't be possible without guys up front, so I appreciate you guys. And similarly to Jeff's son, this player did not play offense really that much last year. And, in fact, he really didn't play a bunch of snaps this year. I think we averaged about 20 snaps on offense with this player. And you'd think the defense would figure out that we're going to throw it to him or hand it to him when he's in, but they didn't. But he finished with about 20 snaps per game, and he finished with 184 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. He finished with 42 receptions for 837 yards, receiving 15 touchdowns. He even threw the ball once, 1-for-1 passing with 9 yards and a touchdown. Bubba Tanner.
I'm here to present the Jim Arnold Award. This player was electrifying all year long, as you've already heard. He's already been recognized, yet teams still kick to him. I would spot him on punts, and I'd tell him where to get. He'd look at me, he'd shake his head, but I never knew if he's going to catch the ball low, if he's going to let it bounce, if he's going to talk to me first before he grabbed it. But you knew one thing was for sure. Once he had the ball in his hands, something special was about to happen. This year's Jim Arnold Award, Special Teams Award, goes to Bubba Tanner. Thank you, Bubba.
I have the privilege to give out the Coach Award this year. This particular player has played for me for 3 years. Has been a big staple of our defensive line for that span. Unfortunately, because of death, we had to share. Coach Cole talked about, some of the players last year when you're a kid and you have all the toys and all that stuff, and you got to share them. So this kid played both ways for us a lot the last 2 years, but, man, he did everything we asked of him, both sides of the ball, special teams, in the weight room, at practice. He was a leader on and off the field. This year's award goes to Bannon Phelan.
I'm going to be giving away the Conrad Easley Comeback Award. Dr. Conrad Easley has been a staple on the sideline at Dalton High School for over 40 years. At one point, 30 years in, he had only missed one game. He's there a good bit of the time now when his days that he's retired. He takes care of the players. He takes care of the coaches. I remember getting a steroid shot for being sick before a game. He would take care of anybody and everybody to make sure they're healthy. This year's Conrad Easley Comeback Award. If you've ever had a back injury, you can't do anything. It's like having a thumb injury. It's just hard. This young man, I've already talked about him, had a back injury in the Loganville game, most likely from diving from the backside and making tackles. One of the 140-something tackles he made last year. Spent the whole all season pretty much on the shelf and going into spring practice. Did you practice during spring practice? Adriel did not even practice during spring practice and tried to get him into the mix of things during the summer. Didn't know where we'd be, but he was able to, through his hard work and the work ethic of his mom and dad, he was able to play 120 plays a game. And this year's Conrad Easley Comeback Award is Adriel Hernandez. Love you, buddy.
This brings us to the most exciting part of the night, the senior presentations.
Good afternoon. The two coaches that I'm going to be talking about today have really affected me and my journey here at Dalton. The first coach I'm going to talk about is Coach Harris. Coming to play at Dalton, I had no idea what I was doing. And the way that you teach, the way that you help me, and the patience that you've had dealing with me has been amazing. You're a great teacher, and I know you're going to be a great coach for whoever's going to be next. So thank you. And the next coach I'm going to be talking about is Coach Poff. When I first got injured with my ACL, I had no direction, nowhere to go, no one to talk to, and he's really the one that helps you with your physical recovery and also with the mental aspect of that. And I can't be more grateful for this coaching staff and for what you guys do to me. So, thank you.
Okay, so the two coaches I'm talking about, first one is Coach Long. I just want to say thank you for everything you've done to me everything you've done for me this season and still doing for me right now. And I'm very grateful for you. And Coach Hammertree, thank you for everything you've done for the team on Fridays. Couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Today I have the pleasure of talking about Coach Martin and Coach Allen. I've been blessed to have Coach Martin as my offensive line coach for the past 2 years. I'm thankful for everything he has done for me, whether that be pushing me to the extra mile or just his funny ways of motivating us sometimes. Actually, I have a funny story. Before every game or every game day on Fridays, we would walk into the locker rooms, and on the offensive line's lockers would be a piece of paper. And on that piece of paper was about 4 pictures of that person we'd be blocking that night and a paragraph just full of trash talk. And obviously we knew the trash talk, or that wasn't anything that guy would say. And I think the whole offensive line knew it was Coach Martin. But when you confronted him about it, he still denied it. But along with those came the Thursday night text just reminding us that Coach Martin loved us, that he had our backs, and that he was ready to go to war with us. Coach Martin, I truly am thankful for you, for everything you've done for me. You've helped me mature as a person, and you've taught me many life lessons that I'll carry with me. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Coach Allen. Being around you the past year has been very nice, whether that's just having somebody to sit down and talk to or having you help me learn this amazing game. I thank you. Thank you, Coach Allen.
So I've got Coach Marlowe to talk to about today, and I just want to say thank you. Like Coach said, last year I was not the best on defense, and I had some mental things to get through, like learning the plays and learning the new techniques. So thank you for sticking with me, whether it be answering all my questions, staying after practice and getting a little extra work in, or just going to your classroom when I got a free period and watching some film. So thank you for helping me and shaping me into the player that I was this year.
So I get the privilege to talk about Coach Cole, grandfather Squirb. Over the past 4 years, when I started as a freshman, I didn't play tight end, I played offensive line. But sophomore year, he took me in with my other fellow Squirbs, and he actually challenged us at FCA camp to come up with a terminology to describe ourselves. And it was John Frank, the current senior, who came up with Squirberts, or Squirbs for short, and it's just been recognized as that since. I'd just really like to thank him and his family for kind of taking me in, and Brax, Briggs, Breaker kind of becoming little brothers to me. And even though Brax is a Chelsea fan, we still have much heated soccer debates, and I still love him for it. But I just really appreciate all the advice you've given me on the field, all the girl advice you give me in the locker rooms in the mornings, and just thank you for everything you've done for me over the past couple of years. And I also get to give a shout out to my dad. I really appreciate everything you've done my entire football career. Early mornings, going to travel football, taking pictures, just photographing memories that I'll have for my life, that all my friends will share, that I'll get to share to my kids someday. So thank you.
The coach I got to talk about today is Coach Thompson. We had a long 4 years of high school. I didn't like him the first 2 years. He always yelling, and on Fridays, he always had this saying, "I'm finna lose my religion." I'm like, he always trying to yell, but I just want to say thank you for all the life lessons, everything you taught me out on the football field, and I just want to say thank you.
I feel like I could tell a story about every one of these guys, but we'll keep it short. But I love all of y'all, and thank y'all for what y'all done for me over the 4 years I've been here. But I actually had the privilege to be coached by my dad my whole life, and it was truly special. I want you to know that. You really molded me into the player and the leader I was, and you told me to always enjoy the ride, especially on my senior year, and I think I did. And you were a big part of my football career. I want you to know that. And Coach Hefner, thank you for all the time and effort you've put into this program. There's so many times where we'd be ended practice and you'd have to run and go to basketball practice after, and just obviously get to spend more time with you, and I just see all the time you put into film and just everything, dissecting huddle, and it was really just, it was awesome to see how much you cared about Dalton in general, so thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Today I have the pleasure to talk about the one and only Coach Carpenter. From the moment Coach Carpenter took over as our head coach, I knew we were in good hands. Coach Carpenter's leadership and expertise in defensive strategies have made a difference, truly. Every week, he spends countless hours watching film to make sure we're 100% ready on Fridays. One of my favorite sayings from Coach Carpenter is, "We know what they're going to do, when they're going to do it, and how they're going to do it." Thank you for having belief in us every week. I'm so grateful to have to be able to call you my head coach. I also have the pleasure to talk about Coach Oliver. For the short time that I've met you, you've been like a big brother to me. I appreciate all the practices, even though you're only able to come on Wednesdays. Every time you're here, you're always critiquing every play, and I'm very grateful for you. Thank you, Coach Oliver.
Hello, how y'all doing? I get the pleasure to talk about Coach Floyd. I just want to say you've been like a big brother to me. You've always been there for me no matter what, and I just appreciate you for that. And I also want to talk about LeDarren, the commentator, best commentator out there for sure. He just makes the game so much more fun to watch, and I just wanted to say thank you.
I have the pleasure to talk about Coach Martinez. I just want to say thank you to Coach Martinez for being a great role model to me and developing me to a better player and a better person. Thank you for all the memories you've made during my 4 years of high school. Your pursuit of excellence, Coach, has made me realize my true potential, and you have shown that I'm very capable of achieving greatness. Thank you, Coach. Love you.
Sorry, Dom.
No. I also have the pleasure to talk about Coach Simpson. I want to thank Coach Simpson for always being there for me. He's a coach that I've always been in contact with throughout my years of football. I also just want to thank you for investing so much growth and success in my life. Thank you, Coach.
Lastly, the seniors would like to thank Mrs. Jamie and Mr. Andy Johnson for all that y'all do. Y'all do more than people know, and y'all don't have to do it. Y'all just do it because y'all want to, and we appreciate it more than y'all know. We couldn't do it without y'all. Thank y'all.
I do want to apologize to Coach Allen. I left him off the recognition list, but, you know, being a head coach is hard, and you always want to lean on somebody. For a long time, I leaned on Coach Bennett, but now Coach Allen's been our JV head coach and resident elder, so I really do appreciate what you've done. So at this point, we're getting ready to watch the 2023 highlights. Once we're done there, we'll be adjourned.
That's all right.